Hey, what is up, guys? Good morning. Today's Wednesday, March 1st, and I want to tell you guys that I am so angry because I filmed this exact video yesterday on the topic of the daily life of a digital marketer. I was showing you guys how I do the reporting and things, and literally I recorded the whole thing in slow-mo. So annoying, so I'm re-recording. But today is March 1st, Wednesday. It's currently 11:53. I had a ridiculously embarrassing late start today, terribly late start, because I went to sleep kind of late, and honestly I didn't have any meetings anyway until noon. So I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna wake up at 8. Usually I wake up at like 7:30. So I was like, I'm gonna wake up 8:30. No, girl, I woke up at 10, which is horribly late, and I'm so embarrassed. So I got up, I got dressed, I took a shower, did my hair, did my makeup, because I do have 2 meetings today. So on the days that I do meetings, I do try to, you know, look my best. And so because I do have 2 meetings today, I did my hair and makeup, and then I am just now starting to dive into work. So it took me like 2 hours to do my hair and makeup. It's a whole story, but now I'm just starting to dive into work. It's 11:54. I have my first meeting in 5 minutes, which is at 12, and that meeting is pretty much going to be all about SEO. So we're doing an SEO overview. As you guys know, I like to vlog day in the life of a digital marketing expert. For you guys who don't know, who haven't watched any of my videos in the past, I'm a 7-year digital marketing expert. I do have experience in all areas of digital marketing, including paid ads, SEO, content marketing, email marketing, the whole thing. I am what you would call a full stack developer in the world of, not a full stack developer. I am what you will call a full stack digital marketer in the world of digital marketing. However, my passion, my love, my niche, the thing that makes me the most money, that helps me make other people more money, is paid ads, social media paid ads. So I specialize in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google ads. So paid ads is my thing. That's my bread and butter. That's what I get paid the big bucks for, from my clients and other companies and things of that nature. So in this day of life, I'm just gonna kind of just do what I do on a day-to-day basis, show you guys the ins and outs of what it's like to be in a paid ad specialist role, just so you guys can kind of see if this is something you're interested in, things of that nature. If you want to major in marketing, even though you don't have to, you can just get a certification, by the way. Oh yeah, so we're just gonna dive in. So like I said, my first meeting is in now 4 minutes. That meeting is a SEO overview, and to be quite frank, let me pull you guys back some. To be quite frank, I don't know what that meeting is truly going to be about, and I honestly don't know why I am going to be a part of that meeting, only because I don't do SEO. I do know SEO because I said I'm a full stack digital marketer. I understand it. I know what it is. I know why people use it, but I do not like SEO. It is not my forte. I don't like it. When I was learning it and studying it, just to see if that's something that I wanted to do, I was like, let me just go ahead and learn as much as I can. However, I knew that was not what I wanted to do in my career. So I'm not sure why. There was a meeting scheduled with me with some of my with some of my other consultants, but they wanted me to hop on a call with them, so we're gonna hop on a call. In the meantime, I am going to answer these questions. Let's see, I have an email because one of my clients, they want to send me a computer to do all of their work on, because they are like they want top security, everything. So I'm just emailing them back in regards to the computer. I got that email sent out really quickly about them sending me a laptop, which I'm really grateful for, you know, because the more the merrier. I already have 2 laptops and 2 desktops, but sometimes when you work with certain clients, especially if they're big companies, they'd rather send you a computer just because they want all of the work done on their computer for security purposes. I've done it a million times with different companies. As a consultant, as a marketing consultant, they just want to make sure everything's secure. So I just answered their email, let them know that they can send me a computer if they want to, although I have my own, but feel free. And so now I'm going to hop into this SEO meeting. Again, I'm not sure what the meeting's about because, again, I don't work in SEO. So I don't know what questions they have for me, but we will see. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Hello.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you all?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks for asking.
I think this is the first time we've met.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. First time that we've all met. It's nice to meet you all.
Yes, you too. Hey, Amanda.
Manager, so my day-to-day is me focusing on the paid ads for Facebook, Instagram, and Google, and making sure that they're up and running, they're launched, they're optimized, and then they're bringing in the results for
Complementary to each other, and they work extremely well together. There's a lot of strategy, planning and research, and tactics planned behind both each SEO and SEM to really drive traffic to web pages, to allow websites to rank high in search engines like Google and Bing. So that's like what we're going to be taking you guys through today. And as I'm going through this, I think one thing that I really want like everyone to think about is like their own experience when they're searching in Google or Bing for information, whether that's a product, whether that's just information as a whole about an organization, if they're interested in making a donation. So really keep that in mind as like a user yourself and as a consumer with SEO and SEM. So starting with SEO, search engine optimization, that's the process of improving your website to increase.
All right, guys, I am back. That call was actually longer than expected. It took about an hour. So essentially what they were doing was an SEO and an SEM overview. And so now I understand the reason why they wanted me on the call, because they weren't just going over SEO, they were also going over SEM. And so for you guys who are kind of considering going into digital marketing, SEM is essentially PPC, pay per click, which is something that I do. So SEO is an organic way of getting your ads, you know, your website on the first page or the second page of Google, preferably the first page. So when someone goes and Googles, you know, I don't know, red shirt, then obviously you want your website, if you sell red shirts, to come up first, and you can use SEO, which is an organic way of marketing, to get your actual website on the first page of Google. However, SEM, search engine marketing, is using paid ads, PPC, pay per click, such as Google ads, which is something that I do, in order to get on that first page using ads, advertising. So they were just doing an overview of SEO versus SEM, and so the reason why they wanted me on that call was because I do SEM, which is paid ads. And so if anyone had any questions about SEM, then I can explain the difference to them between SEO and SEM. So that was what that call was about. It was very helpful. It was a great overview. So now we're going to go into our actual remaining work for the day. All right. So as you guys know, I work on Trello. I work out of Trello. I love Trello because Trello allows you to organize your thoughts, organize your tasks, assign tasks to other people on your team, and things of that nature. And so let me plug my computer because like it's about to die. Let's see. Okay, where is it? Okay, here we go. And so I'm going through my Trello and then I see what I need to get done today. So we're going to be looking at some internal reporting and optimization that needs to happen. So when you're in the paid ad space, there's a lot of internal reporting and optimizations that you have to do. Now, if you're thinking about going into paid ad space, You have to know, it's very, very important for me to explain to you guys that you have to have two sides of your brain, right? You have to work the creative side, and you also have to work the analytical side. Both are very important. Now, I will tell you, when I went off to college and I decided to go into marketing, I went into marketing with the idea that I'm this creative person. I am super, creative in regards to like copy and imagery and branding and things of that nature, right? That was me. I came out the womb creative. I've always been creative. And so going into marketing, I thought this was like the perfect thing for me, which it was. However, once I got into my major and really started studying digital marketing specifically, I quickly realized that I had to become analytical, and I am not analytical by nature. I was not born analytical. When I was in like high school and stuff, I was always the person who did really well in like English and history and everything of that nature, but I always struggled in math. It's not that I don't know like basic math, because I do, but anything that was like data and analytical was not my strong suit in high school. And then obviously when I was in college, I was like, okay, so if I am going to stick with this major, I do have to have some analytical characteristics about me. And so I had to learn and I had to study, because when you're into paid ads, specifically when you're doing Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google ads, the creative part is going to be half of it. So really paid ads is 50-50, like straight down the middle. You have to be able to create the ads and set them up and build them and launch these campaigns and make sure that these campaigns look like they should look. The copy has to resonate with the audience. The images, the videos, all of the content, it has to be on point. Our ads will not work. However, on the other side of things, you have to be able to understand numbers and data, so that when the ads are running and you start to see the results come in, you're able to look at the results and then make a hypothesis about what your next step should be. So you should be able to look at the ads and say, okay, my ads got, it reached 200,000 people. Out of the 200,000 people, there was 500,000 impressions. Out of the 500,000 impressions, the click-through rate was a 2.35%. The engagement rate was 4.56%. The cost per acquisition was $1.50, per acquisition. There was $1.25 per lead. It's a bunch of numbers and data, and you have to be able to look at those numbers and those data and understand what that means for your campaign. So you have to be able to look at that and say, okay, this campaign is going perfect. I'm not going to touch anything. It's awesome. It's ranking in leads. It's ranking in sales. I'm not going to touch it. Or you need to be able to look at it and say, okay, this campaign is a fluke. Like, it is not doing good. My click-through rate is low. A lot of people are actually looking at the ad, but no one's clicking on it. No one's conversion. My conversion rate is shit. Like, you have to be able to really be analytical and know numbers and know data, right? It's a lot of data analytics. So if you're not that kind of person, I will let you know you have to become that kind of person in order to be successful in the field of paid ads. Now, when I first graduated college and then I went into my first role to digital marketing, I quickly learned that you absolutely have to be good at analytics. I remember my first role, my ads would always do so good. Like, because I was the person building the ads, like I was creative, my copy was good, I was knocking it out the park creating the videos, knocking it out the park creating the content. I did heavy market research, so I knew what my audience wanted. And the one time that my campaign did not do good, I was stuck, because I was like, okay, it's not doing good, cool. So what does that mean? Like, I don't understand what are these numbers telling me? Are the numbers telling me my content's not good? Is it telling me my copy's not good? Is it telling me that I'm reaching the wrong audience? Like, what is these numbers telling me? What does this mean? And so then that is really what pushed me to become this analytical person, which I am now. So if you're in marketing, or you want to go into marketing and you feel like you're not analytical but you are creative, as long as you're creative, perfect, then you can learn to be analytical. You can take courses, you can study, blah 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 blah, like, you can do it. So if you're not analytical, don't be discouraged, because you definitely can do it. Now, if you're not creative, on the other hand, that's a little bit harder to learn. It's harder to create a creative mind if you're just not naturally creative. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I definitely feel like it's a lot harder. So if you're already creative and you just need to learn the analytical side, then you'll be good. Okay, So that takes me into what we need to do for the rest of the day, which is going to be reporting and optimization. Optimization means making changes, essentially, if I need to make any changes. I'm looking at data and understanding what that data means and what I need to do. So for a current campaign, I'm going to pull up Facebook Ads Manager, which I already have here actually. We're going to go into this particular account. Let me pull it up. All right, and I'm going to pretty much show you guys what I do as far as looking at data. So let me see if I can flip you guys around. Okay, perfect. So let me make sure, let me zoom in and get focused. If it'll focus. Okay, come on. Okay, perfect. So if you guys can see, this is a little bit of the data that's in Ads Manager for a campaign. Now this is a 7-day, these are 7-day results. And for this particular campaign, we're running ads so that this client can get leads. Exactly what it is. A lead is contact information, right? So basically this client, when someone clicks on their ad, they want them to actually click on the ad and then fill out a form that asks for their name, phone number, email, and things of that nature. Okay, and so, oh, come on. Okay, and so as you can see, we have a bunch of different results, right? So we have results that are bringing in 102 leads. We have results that brought in only 2 leads, 198, 86, 109, 778. So obviously you'll look at these numbers right here, and I think any normal person would be like, oh, okay, right, we're only getting 2 leads for this particular ad. So if you come over here, you can kind of see the ads and what they look like. Now what you'll see here is that even though this only got 2 leads, which is bad, it only reached 412 people. So then I'm going to scroll over and see that it's only spent $349. So it's easy to say, oh, this ad is horrible, let's turn this particular ad off. Well, I mean, we can turn it off, but I feel like it hasn't had a fair chance. Compared to all the other ads, it's only spent $3.49. This other ad spent $166, $255, $104, $130, $1,091. This one only spent $349. Out of the $349, it only took $1.75, right, to get the 2 leads. So even though it only got 2 leads, it got the leads really cheap at $175. That's still pretty cheap, and it's only spent $3.49. So what this tells me is that this particular ad, right, scrolling over, this particular ad has not had a good opportunity to spend money. So instead of me turning that ad off, I want to force it to spend. I want to force Facebook to spend money on that ad so that I can see its true potential before I turn it off. So what I would typically do in this case is the ads that are actually performing really well, preferably like these 2 at the bottom, I would actually turn these 2 off. I know these 2 work well, right? I know these 2 are bringing in leads, and because I know these 2 are bringing in leads, I don't have to worry about how powerful those ads are. I don't worry about how powerful those ads are, so I can actually turn these 2 ads off for a couple days just to force Facebook or Meta to spend money here, right? I also might turn this one off too, because 778, 109, 198, we can even turn this one off. In fact, we can turn all of these off, and the only ones that we're going to leave on is the one for 2 and the one who's gotten 86 leads, so that we can force Facebook to spend money and see the true potential of these. Because listen, we can't make a judgment when money hasn't been spent. I can't say this ad doesn't work because the ad's only spent $3.49, so I'm going to force money to be spent here. If I turn everything off, then guess what? Facebook has no choice but to spend money here and here. Okay, So that's pretty much what I'm going to do there. So you guys can see, that's what's going to happen. Let me zoom back out. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to turn off the ads that are actually kicking butt. I know that they're kicking butt. I know that they're good. I know that they're rocking it. I know that they're killing it. I know that they have the potential to get us the leads. I'm not worried about them. What I am worried about is the fact that I have 2 other ads that are not bringing in as many leads. However, they both haven't really spent that much money. Again, the one that brought in 2 leads only spent $3.49, and the one that brought in the 86 leads have only spent 104. So I'm going to force Meta to spend money with them to see if it really has potential, if the audience really likes those ads. They just haven't had the opportunity to see them yet because Facebook's not spending them, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Those are off, right? And so that is part of me looking at data, analyzing what's happening, looking at those numbers, not just looking at the creative, right? Because if I would have just looked at the creative and the copy, I would have just been like, oh, audience doesn't like that creative. But no, it doesn't work like that. It's not about that. It's about the data and the numbers, okay? So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the actual creative now for the ad set levels. Just so you guys know, an ad set level is your audience, by the way. So you can set up a campaign and you can run your campaign to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter. You can run your campaign to as many audiences as you want. For this particular campaign, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different audiences. So we're running all of the same ads to 5 different audiences, right? So those audiences are people who are freelancers, who are entrepreneurs, who are actually in corporate America. So basically we're targeting people who are working, but they're working in all different variations. Whether you're a contractor, a freelancer, a consultant, you just have a regular 9-to-5 job, you're an entrepreneur. We're targeting all different 5 versions of workers because we have an ad that the client wants to target people who are in the work field, but we're trying to see which of those audiences, whether you're a freelancer, whether you're a contractor, whether you're a hybrid, whether you're a 9-to-5er, we're trying to see which one of those groups of workers actually will respond to those ads. And so now I'm going in and analyzing each of those different audiences to see which one's actually working the best. If I find that there's an audience that's actually responding more to the ads than the others, then I will turn the other audiences off, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and take a look into those audience and just see. I'm done with editing and making any optimizations that I need to do, particularly on this campaign. Now we're going to go back to my Trello card and just see what else it is that we need to be getting done today. I feel like we have a lot of optimizations. All right, guys, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is Chozle. So if you guys don't know, in my last video, I was talking a lot about software that I like to use, like Trello, Nordic Click, and then Chozle. Chozle is one of those platforms that is what we call programmatic display. Now, a lot of people use programmatic display if they are doing ads, particularly like Google ads, like Google Display and things of that nature. So if you guys know anything about Google ads, and even if you don't, I'm going to explain it to you. Basically, when you're buying ads on Google ads, what you can do is bid for keywords and bid for space on different websites. So what this essentially means is that I can essentially pay for my ads to show up on a certain website, right? So if I'm running ads for a group of people who are 50 plus, then maybe I would want to go ahead and set up ads on websites that maybe only 50 plus year olds go to, certain blogs that they go to, maybe like news stations, political stations. Typically the older generation, the elders, they do like to look at websites like that just to keep up with current events. So maybe I would try to bid, right, or auction for my ad to show up on those certain websites, right? And obviously the goal there is to make sure that when they see the ad on those websites, they click on the ads and then they either buy the product that I want them to buy, or they book an appointment for the service that I want them to book, or they give me their contact information for something that I want them to do later down the road. Well, there's different programmatic display software that you can use. Chozle being one of them, right? So essentially what I do is I can set up a Google Ads campaign or Google display campaign in Chozle instead of going into the actual Google Ads platform. So you can set up your ads obviously on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and Twitter, right? Those are the platforms. And so is Google. I can set up ads on Google Ads platform. However, I can use a programmatic display display programmatic. It depends on how you say it. Some people say the opposite, but either way, I can use this software instead to actually run the ads themselves, right? All right, so let's explain. So what we have here is some campaign key metrics that's important for us. I told you today we're really going to be focused on looking at data, looking at numbers, and just overall reporting to see what all of our campaigns are doing. Right now, for this particular campaign, we're at an overall pacing of 95.77%, which is actually really, really good. That basically means the budget that we've assigned to this campaign, and we've assigned $7,150. This campaign is supposed to run from January 25th to March 8th, so we're almost up. It is pacing nicely. We've spent so far $5,930.61, and so we do have some budget remaining, and so we are pacing really well. Now, we've had over 1 million impressions, and this is really, really good, you guys. 1 million impressions, and we just started January 25th, I believe. That's actually really, really good. So when we're looking at impressions, we're not thinking about, how many eyeballs are actually on the ads. What we're looking at is out of those eyeballs that were on the ads, out of the people that saw this, how many times did those people all together see the ad? So that means, like myself, for instance, I count as one person, right? Say you've reached me once. You've reached me, you've reached Joe, you've reached Bob, right? So that's 3 people, Amy, Joe, and Bob. Okay, you've reached 3 people. But out of those 3 people, there has been 6 impressions. That means Amy, Joe, and Bob have all seen the ad twice. Okay, so does that make sense? So reach is how many people you've reached, counting them one time, right? But impressions is out of all of those people you've reached, how many times have they seen the ads together, all together, right? So if you reach 5 people and you have 10 impressions, that means every person you've reached out of all 5 people, they've all seen the ad twice. And so we've seen 1 million impressions, 1 million plus impressions, which is really good, because what that tells me is that we've reached a ton of people, number one, and out of those people, they've seen these ads multiple times, which is what we need, because we know sometimes it takes people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to see an ad before they make an actual decision. Now, our win rate is at 10.73%. Now, this is really, really good, because win rate, it measures the number of impressions won out of those that we bid on, right? So our win rate percentage will essentially indicate if our bids are high enough to win inventory, right? And so if your win rate is between 10 and 30% or even higher, then that's perfect, because that means our campaign is spending and winning inventory, which makes sense because we are spending money and we are pacing out nicely. And so that means that the things that we've bid on, the website that we've bid on, it's actually working. Okay. Now, other things that I typically look at, which isn't so important right now, is going to be CPM, cost per impressions. That's $5.92. And then cost per click. So this means essentially that we're spending $7.25 per click. Okay, $7.25 per click. And so that is something that we look at. And so I take all these campaign key metrics into account, and I use all of these numbers to pretty much decide whether I want to continue going on with this campaign, whether it's worth it, whether we're getting the results that we need or not. And so as someone who's going to be in paid ads, you have to be able to look at these different numbers: win rate, CPM, CPC, clicks, CPA, CTR, conversions, and not only know what they mean, but you also have to understand that whatever results that we have from this, what does that mean for the campaign? Okay. Now you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, what are all these numbers? Like, what do they even mean? And I am really open to doing like a totally, whole new video on these different metrics, which would probably be helpful, especially for those guys who didn't study marketing and things of that nature, right? So if you didn't study marketing, you're not sure what any of these acronyms mean, right? Because there's going to be a ton of acronyms in digital marketing, so you have to understand what these acronyms mean. And we can't cover all these acronyms in this particular vlog because it is a vlog style video. But if you would like, I can do a video showing what these different acronyms mean on this channel so that you guys are familiar with them, that you start learning them, and so that you can start implementing them when you're building out your own campaigns. And I do highly recommend that if you're going to go into paid ads, then maybe start practicing building out some campaigns, maybe for friends and family who have businesses, and just kind of see how it goes. And while you're practicing, you'll be able to understand and learn what all of these acronyms and these campaign metrics mean, so you can make the best decisions for these campaigns and for these business owners. And so if you guys are interested in a video that's more in depth of what these metrics actually mean, what does CPM mean, what does CPA mean, what does CTR mean in paid ads, and then once I understand what it means, what does that mean for my campaign, I definitely can do a video like that. So definitely let me know. We can definitely get that going. Let me just make you guys a little bit perfect. So now we're just going to continue our work day. So as I'm looking over this campaign, right, I'm just looking at all these numbers, and I just kind of have to make a decision on whether or not I think this campaign is doing well. And to be quite honest, it is really doing well. And so what I need to do is I need to let my team know that yes, it is doing well, so that my team knows that we want to continue to work with Chozle and continue to use this platform for these campaigns. And so every week I just have a card, because on Trello, again, you can have cards. Every week I want a reminder to come up to me that tells me, hey, go look at this campaign and then make notes about the campaign so the team understands the decisions you're making. So every week I get a reminder to go and look at the information inside of Chozle for this particular campaign, because we only have this one campaign that's using Chozle. Because most of the campaigns that I do work on, they are Facebook and Instagram, but we do have a couple Google ads, and this is the only one that uses Chozle, right? And so every week for those different ads, I get a reminder to go in and report on what I saw and basically tell the team why I made the decision to keep what I have or change what I have. I'm going to go in and do that right now. Alright guys, so now that I finished putting in my notes about the changes that I did or did not make, which in this case you know that I didn't make any changes because everything looked well. The next thing I do want to take a look at for this particular campaign is going to be the creative. So we have talked a lot about looking at data and numbers. However, it is very important still to be looking at creative like copy and images. In this case, one thing that is very important for us to look at is the actual content as far as like videos and images, and seeing which ones are working really well and then which ones aren't. Now, I just did a little peek into the actual creative, and from what I can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 different creatives that we're running these Google ads for that have gotten no clicks. So literally 0 impressions, 0 clicks, 0 conversions, 0 click-through rate, 0 nothing, just nada. And so for me, that indicates that I want to remove these images, these creatives, out of the actual lineup, because what's happening is if I keep them in the lineup, they're just eating up all of the budget from the Google ads. They're eating it all up and we're not getting any results from it. So why would I keep the images or the videos, if there were videos, why would I keep the content in the lineup of ads, you know, when they're not getting us any clicks, they're not getting us any impressions, they're not reaching anyone, but they're still spending money. So for these 5 to 6 images that aren't performing well, then I am just going to go ahead and just remove them from the lineup. And I will kind of show you guys what I mean when I say they're not doing well. And you're probably just like, how do I know that they're not doing well? And I'll show you how I know they're not doing well. So back into the Google information right here for Chozle. If you see, once it balances out, if you see that, oh my goodness, come on. Let's get it balanced. 1 second, guys. Okay. If you can see here that these creatives above, these are all creatives, they all got impressions, right? So these are impressions. All of these got impressions. They all have clicks. They all have conversions and things of that nature. But the most important thing is impressions. If I scroll through here, all of these ads, these images, they all have impressions. As I scroll down to the bottom, I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these that did not get any impressions. That means no one saw them, but they are spending money. And so because of that, I am going to go ahead and turn them off. Now, just so you guys know, what I'm doing, you need to do this for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google ads. No matter what kind of ads you're running, if you have images or videos that are running and they're not being seen, they're not, you know, getting any conversions, but they are spending money, then you do need to turn those off. Now, just so you know, what I talked about a little bit earlier is that if you have images and videos that aren't being seen and they're not spending money, they're not getting results, and they're not spending money, those you need to force the platform to spend the money. So we did that a little bit earlier where we forced Facebook to spend money on an ad that was not getting any views, not getting any clicks. The reason we forced it is because that particular ad only spent $3. So there's no way I know if this ad is good or not because it only spent $3. In this case, these ads over here on Chozle, they do spend money, right? So they're spending money and they're not getting anything. They're not getting any clicks. They're not getting versions. The impressions aren't there. But because I have them in the lineup, they're still spending money. And so I'm going to remove them out of the lineup because they're wasting money, because they're not bringing me any results, okay? So there's going to be a difference between content that's not getting any views, they're not getting any clicks, they're not getting any reach, but they haven't spent any money. When it hasn't spent money and it's not getting any results, you need to force it to spend so you can see the true potential that it has. When it's not getting you any results and it is spending money, you need to remove that from your lineup because now it's wasting your marketing budget, okay? So I'm going to go in and remove the actual images that are not getting us results, the ads that are not getting us results because they are wasting money. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Alright guys, so I went ahead and removed the actual images that were not performing, that were just spending up money but not getting us any results, and just totally wasting funds. The next thing that I need to do for this campaign is I need to verify whether the websites that we are bidding for, that we are auctioning for, are actually bringing us in clicks, conversions, leads, things of that nature. Now, when you're doing Google campaigns, you can bid to make sure that your ads are showing up on a certain website. We talked about this a little bit earlier. So again, just a refresher, I can say I bid $10, $20, whatever. I'm placing bids to make sure that my ads show up on AOL.com, show up on WashingtonPost.com. I'm placing bids so that my ads are showing up on these websites. Now, if I have websites that are spending money and they are not actually getting me any conversions, the same as the same as the images. If you're spending money but you're not getting me any clicks, you're not getting me any results, then I am going to go ahead and turn those off as well. So that's actually going to be my next step. So I'll show you guys that. Okay, so for Chozle, you can see that here are the sites, here are the apps. We can see how much money they are spending, how many impressions that they are getting. All right, so, and I'm going to get better at this, guys, like showing you guys stuff, but. So here are the sites, okay? This is the money that they're spending. This is the impressions and the clicks. As you can see, a lot of these websites, so sorry guys, a lot of these websites are barely getting any clicks. 3, 7, 2, but they're spending money, right? So what this basically means is that the same way that I went through, the exact same way that I went through and I checked for images, trying to see if the images actually were getting me impressions, getting me clicks, I need to do the same thing for the website. So I'm going to go through this list of websites and I'm going to check to see which of these websites are spending money but not getting me any clicks, no impressions, no reach. Once I find that list, I'm going to then take all of those websites and then I'm going to put them in a blocked list. The blocked list means I would no longer like my ads to show up on these websites. I'm blocking these websites. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to comb through the websites just like I did through the images and block the ones that are not helping us in the campaign. Okay? Alright guys, so I went ahead and removed all of the websites that just were spending up money and that were not giving us the results that we need. There's no reason for me to be bidding on websites if they are not getting us the results that we want. So that's what I did. So now I do have looks like a call right now. It's actually going on right now and I'm a little bit late. So I'm just going to hop into that call. I'm not sure what the call is about, but I'm just going to hop in, see what it is about. It might just be a casual call, but either way, we're just gonna figure out what it's about. So let me just set you guys up here. Let me just move some lighting around. And we're gonna hop into the call, see what it's about, and go from there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Jess, like today is truly your work anniversary. Do you not remember the interview like we had on International Women's Day at Ozo Coffee 5 years ago?
Yeah, although
Did that not mean anything to you, Jess?
I remember International Women's Day being on March 8th, but yes, I do remember that. It was
Wait a minute, doesn't it say that on the calendar or was I looking at an appointment next week? No, it's Women's History Month. So it's not technically your work anniversary, I'm sorry.
true, and it was more years ago, but mostly all that's right.
Alright guys, so I am back. So that call just wrapped up. It was like a very casual call. So sometimes we'll have like calls where we're just like talking and just checking in to see like how everyone's doing, how everything's going and stuff like that. So that's pretty much that call, and it lasted for like an hour. And so while it was going on, I changed. I don't know if you guys can see, but I went ahead and changed because I actually am going to do a photo shoot at 4 and it's currently 3:02. And so I'm going to meet up with my friend. She is going to be doing me a photo shoot. lifestyle photo shoot. Now she's a photographer, so she's just trying to expand her brand and build her portfolio. And then I need content pics for my other business. And so we're just going to collaborate on that. So I did go ahead and change. So they're like talking, they're like chatting, talking about like people's vacations and honeymoons and stuff like that. So I just changed while they were doing that. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to go ahead and work on the Google exclusion. So today is a very Google heavy day, Google ads heavy day. So majority of my job description, 90% of the time I am working with Facebook and Instagram ads, but there is a 10% where I do Google ads. And like I told you guys earlier, I do have experience with Google ads, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I have experience with content marketing, email marketing, and then SEO. I have experience with all of them. So sometimes there will be one-off days where I focus heavily on something besides Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And today is one of those days where I'm focusing heavily on Google ads. So I will say, if you become a full stack digital marketer, then it is pretty helpful because you can negotiate salaries if you're going into corporate America. Maybe someone's hiring for a Facebook ad specialist and you're like, oh, I do that, but I also do LinkedIn, Twitter, I also know SEO, and I also know blah, 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 and how to do a little bit of development. If you have a little bit of an extra skill set, they do tend to pay you a little bit more as far as salary, because they can kind of pull you into those different areas when they need you. And so for this role that I'm currently in as a consultant, like I said, I usually only deal with Facebook and Instagram ads, but 10% of the time there are the one-offs where I focus heavily on Google ads, and this happens to be one of those very rare days. And so now that we did all the optimization, reporting, and making changes that needs to happen in Google ads, the next thing that I need to do is I actually need to find ways to weed out users or audience members who are financially secure. And the reason being is because our client, they're actually looking for people who are not financially secure so that they can help them. They're a nonprofit organization and they want to help people who are impoverished and in poverty communities, low income, maybe no education, no real education. They want to help them get them the skills that they need in order to land a job or become an entrepreneur or a worker, a contract worker, freelance, whatever their dreams are. The nonprofit wants to help them do it, specifically for those people who are like, financially insecure. So if you're going to Google ads, if you're working on that, you know that there's ways that you can exclude certain groups of people. And so I need to weed out users who are financially secure. And there's no way you can do that by really like truly income. Not like you used to be able to do, kind of, sort of, but not really. So other ways that we can do it is that we are excluding people who are in market for luxury vehicles, in market for luxury homes, people who are avid investors, people who are maybe hold an advanced degree. Not saying that people with advanced degrees don't struggle financially, but most people who have an advanced degree, and when I say advanced, I mean like master's, PhD, doctorate, things like that, we want to exclude those people because they probably, if they have an advanced degree, they probably have some stability in their lives just because they have a PhD or they have a doctorate right here. So that's basically what I need to do. I need to find ways to weed out those people. And so I started to make a list a couple weeks ago of people that we can exclude. And the things that I have excluded were people who were, tech enthusiast, right? If you're a tech enthusiast, you're heavily into tech, and you own things like iMac desktop, MacBooks, like the 2022 MacBooks, like all these expensive technology things, I'm just testing out excluding those people to see if we get a better handle on people who are financially insecure, because I just feel like if you are in a position where you are impoverished or something like that, you're maybe on food stamps or low income, you don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to be dishing out on just tech, just because, iPads, just because. Maybe, and there's always, people who don't meet, those typical standards, whatever. But for the most part, I just feel like they're not going to be, I'm not about to be giving you $200,000, $300,000 for an iMac desktop when, I need to be worried about food. So excluding those people, also excluding people who have, like I said, the highest level of education, which is like doctorates and things of that nature, PhDs. And I'm also going to be considering excluding people who are travel buffs, and then snow bunny travelers. Snow bunny travelers are typically people who have a home somewhere where it's snowy and cold, and then they have somewhere where it's warm. So that means they have the means to have multiple homes and to travel. So obviously that for me would be a good exclusion. And then I'm also excluding people who are into fine jewelry. They always are doing searches for fine jewelry. People who own commercial properties. Okay, you most likely won't be owning any commercial properties, let alone regular mansion properties, commercial properties, if you're financially insecure, as well as people who travel by class. So we can target people who travel by class, who travel by business class and first class. So if you travel by business class and first class, you will be excluded from these ads. If you're a snow bunny traveler, you'll be excluded. So all these things I just named, if you fall into those categories, we're excluding you from our ads because we want a particular group of people that we want to help. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially finish the template of all the people that I want to exclude. Once I finish the list or the template, whatever you want to call it, once I finish those list of exclusions, I am then going to implement those exclusions into the Google Ads campaigns. Okay? So let's see. Okay guys, and I just want to show you how it looks once you go inside of Google Ads, so you can kind of see what it looks like when you create these exclusions. So okay, so this is how it looks inside of Google Ads. Let me wipe my camera. Okay, so this is how it looks inside of the Google Ads when you need to create some exclusions. As you can see, it already had some in there, like advanced degree, avid investors that we talked about. But executive and management jobs, high-end computer aficionado, I could never pronounce that word, but anyway, you guys know what I mean. Home automation enthusiasts, investment services, right? So these are all going to be things that we want to exclude, because if people match these, then they probably won't match the audience that we need. So if I go over to my ad specs, these are all the things that I need to exclude. So for instance, if I were to do designer clothing, which that already might be in here, but let me try. Okay, let it load. Okay, so luxury shoppers are already in there. Let's see, designer clothing. If it's in here, we will mark it. Sometimes it's not in here, by the way, guys. Okay, so the term designer clothing isn't in here, but luxury shoppers is, which I already have marked, so that's good to go. But you kind of just get the gist of it. You want to use these audience segments that if they don't apply to you, they shouldn't see your ads, right? So people who are into like anything that is like, that means you have frivolous money to spend, extra just money to spend on things that you don't need, just things that you like or things you enjoy, we want them to be excluded from our ads, because they shouldn't see our ads, because we are wanting people who are in tough financial situations. Maybe they're on the brink of, you know, losing homes, cars, things of that nature. We want those people because our client wants to get leads for these people so they can help them and put them in better situations. So all you do is just type in the terms, the segments, and then press, you know, you want to go ahead and press save at the bottom, and that'll just add them over to the list of people that we don't want to reach. So that's just pretty much how that works, just so you guys kind of know. It's pretty simple, and hopefully it makes sense to you guys. It should make pretty good sense that if I am looking for people who are low income, then I need to exclude those people who aren't low income, because then what will happen is we'll start to be wasting money. We'll start wasting a lot of money on people who don't fit our target audience, and we don't want to do that, because all of our clients have limited budgets. We all have limited budgets when we're a business owner, and we're not in the business of wasting any money. So in order for us to avoid wasting money, then we exclude people that we know shouldn't be seeing our ads. Okay, so pretty much I'm going to just finish this up, and then I have to do this in it's 3:18. I actually have to leave at 3:30 because my photo shoot's at 4. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pause on this, because it literally will take me like probably like 30 minutes to finish it, and I don't have 30 minutes. So I'm just going to pause it here, and I'm going to pick back up. I'm going to finish it either when I get home after the photo shoot, or I'm going to finish it tomorrow, because literally it's not that big of a deal. It literally takes 30 minutes. So yeah, so pretty much that's all that I had to do for today. I had to just go ahead and finish these exclusions, and let me just double check my Trello and my board behind me, making sure I got everything done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got everything done. Yeah, no, perfect. That's pretty much, that was the last thing that I need to do, is those exclusions. And like I said, because I work in the space, I work for myself, I work for consulting, as a consulting for these other companies, white labeling. I don't have a set schedule. I do have deadlines, of course, because you have clients, you have companies that you work with, and they have deadlines. So of course I have deadlines, but for the most part, if I need to push something back, some client work, then I can do that quickly and easily. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna push this back till either, like I said, either after I'm done with my photo shoot, or I might just do it tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal because it's not a rush task. So sometimes I do get assigned rush tasks from different companies and stuff, and I'll go ahead and get those done, but this isn't one of those. But this was my final task for today, so I'm gonna go ahead and push it back, and I'm gonna go to my photo shoot. I'll take you guys with me. Now my photo shoot is essentially for my own endeavors, and so I am creating a technical software, and I'm going to do a photo shoot for that. Again, my friend, she needs to expand her portfolio, so she's doing it for me. So I'll take you guys with me on that photo shoot, and then yeah, we'll pick it up from there.
Are you free? Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's good? Yeah. Yeah, that's 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. Yep. I'll leave a little bit more room. I forget you like to put stuff on there, so. Okay. 1, 2. Stay there.